Hello, in this AWS lab, I wish to demonstrate on how to migrate a web application which is launched on a EC2 application to Docker's containers. Okay, so first of all, let me explain about the scenario. In this migration of a web application, we are using the following things like EC2 instances, especially we will be migrating into Docker's containers. So in this lab, we are going to learn about many number of features like we are going to learn about how to create a Docker file and also create Docker images and running the container from a Docker image, interacting with and administering your containers. Okay, along with that, in the second part, we'll also learn about how to basically create an ECR repository. Later, we'll also learn about the Docker client and Docker images. So let me show you the scenario first. So in the beginning of our lab, we have three EC2 instances. You see here, three EC2. One is application server node EC2 instance, okay, where your application is there, web application, okay, and this is connected with the backend of your MySQL server node. That is one of the EC2 instance. And here we also have one more. We will be deploying this Docker engine on this Cloud9 EC2 instance. Initially, we don't have anything. Finally, our aim is to migrate, to deploy this application and also the SQL also in this Docker, EC2 of a Cloud9 instance, okay, in this container host. Okay, so the final part will be something, it looks like this. So the application is coming, which is there on the node, should be migrated into the container, and also your SQL also will be migrated to the container. So this is how it looks like, and we are using this Cloud9 instance, which has an environment where you can access using a Linux host. Yes, we can access all the things. So this is the concept which we are going to learn. We will be registering these two containers in the ECR and make them available to deploy as needed. So yeah, so this is the part, and let me just go ahead with the existing infrastructure. This is your EC2 management console. So I just made a duplicate. When you go to your EC2, you have three EC2 instances. I'm just exploring the things. Three EC2 instances which are running. You see this one. So here you have a Cloud9, you have MySQL server, and you have application server. So you have your application running in application server, and you have your MySQL server backend to that. You can even check this application whether it is running or not. This is my public IP, and if I say this public IP, it is the website. It is a HTTPS website. You see this one. You can see the list of suppliers. There is nothing. I can add a supplier also. I'll just show you this one. I give name, maybe I can say call me. See. Okay, this is the phone number. If I say submit, automatically this is stored in my, you can see this one. The database is getting uploaded into the SQL server, which is there. You can even try editing any of the fields in that. You can add more and more records also to this, whether it is getting modified or not. Yeah, it is so hence I can tell you that this application server, the public IP, is your current application which is running. And here you see this one, this is the Cloud9 instance which is there. So as of now, this Cloud9 instance, you can see this public IP, nothing is there, nothing is running. I mean website is not running. We'll try to host the website on this particular application, and that is how we need to migrate that. So now I'll also go to the Cloud9 environment. For now, I just push over this thing to the beginning. I say I go to the Cloud9. Very interesting lab. You see this one, Cloud9 is the thing which we need to migrate on this particular server. Now, both these things. First case, we will migrate this application, and then we will try to migrate in the second part MySQL also. So this is your Cloud9 instance. I open my IDE. So meanwhile, I'll just show you the instructions which are given. So the fifth part, we are opening the IDE, and then we need to get the code, source code of all these things, and explore this thing. I'll just get this, copy this particular one. Once my ID is ready, yeah, my ID is ready. Okay, so here in my Cloud9, run this code. I just download this code now. Okay, so it is approximately 5.4 MB. You can see this code, code.zip. You can unzip. That is done. You can see this readme, the code content. Yeah, we did unzip, and we will run this. What is this? The script setup.sh. Just copy. Chmod will change the executable permission, and then it runs. So it installs the Python, uninstalls the Python, and installs the latest version of Python also. Meanwhile, I can show you what exactly this script really contains also. Okay. Yeah, it takes a minute, and also it installs the AWS CLI. Yeah, it is downloading even your AWS CLI for Linux. Yeah, once this is done, you can see that here the Docker service also is getting started, stopped and started. Resources. Yeah, you have to set up message. Yeah, sudo yum for your understanding. Install, remove this old version and install the new version, and also you download this what is that, CLI version of AWS, and install all the things. So this is the code which is there, and also it is generating a key, SSH key for you to access. And later on, you also stop the Docker service, and then start the Docker service. Right. So this is about the first part of installing. So verify, we have already verified the 8th part, version has been displayed. Now, okay, verify that Python is also installed. You can check using this command that Python is installed or not. Yeah, it has shown various information. It is basically, it's okay. So now the task 2, most important one, analyzing the existing application infrastructure. So as I mentioned already, we have what is this website. We have already gone through the website, HTTPS. This is the one, and also we gone through the web functionality. We have added a record, and also we just gone through all these things. So this I think we will also analyze the web application code also. So under resources, you have this code base partner, and this is optional, but you can still go through this one, code base partner. So you have all various files which are there, index.js, and of course you have your public files and application files, etc. in this particular code.zip. Okay, optional also is there. So with this is 12th one. So what you can do, if you want, you can go through this SSH to the Ubuntu public IP and then go through the resources and then go to code-based partner, or even from here also you can see. I can just show you, and the code-based partner. So these are the files which are there, all your application files. Okay, so our next is that it's not necessary for us to understand the details. Okay, the task 3, let us start the important part, which is migrating the application to a Docker container. So this is important. We have just created our Docker, I mean we have just installed the Docker engine which is there currently. Now we need to migrate this application to the Docker container. So as of now, as I shown you also, if I give the Cloud9 public IP, it doesn't show me the website. So after that, we will see that how we can do that. So what we will do, we will create a folder called as mkdir containers and cd containers. So I go back to the directory and do environment, and I create a directory called as containers, mkdir containers, cd containers. Okay, I think we need to create one more folder inside these containers. Yeah, no, that is node app. So this is our server IP, the server name. mkdir node_app. Okay. So to move the code base which we have copied earlier from the new node app directory, run the following command. You can see this one, move the complete code part of the application itself to this particular folder called as container node app. Let us try to do. So what we are doing, environment, resources, code app partner, we saw the code, everything, so that we are trying to move into our current folder. Okay, which has been done. You should see the files here in your code app code base partner, all your source code, everything. I mean the application is now here. So to create a new Docker file, okay, node app into the parent directory. Let us go into this particular folder. This is the 14th number. So let me go into this directory and we create a file name called as touch docker file. Exactly, it should be there like that. So all your source is here, touch, we create a docker file. Okay, so this part is done, docker file. So now let us modify the docker file. So the commands which we need to get inserted into this docker file are here. See this one from node, that is this particular node, 11-alpine, run mkdir, work directory is user source app, copy, npm install, and your command which is there, and save these changes which are. So I can say vi docker file name should be exactly same, just paste it, right. Okay, save the changes. So the Docker file specifies that the Alpine Linux distribution with Node.js runtime requirement should be used to create the image. The code, okay, also specifies that the container should allow network traffic on TCP port 3000. So finally, the code specifies that the application should be run and started when the container launches. So build the image. So let me create the Docker image. So how to do that? So this particular using this current Docker build tag node app and the current location in the current location. So remember the dot also should be there. You should be in that same location where the Docker file is there. So it will create a file. It will create an image. Error. So the Docker file should not be like this. I can say move Docker file to Docker fs small file. It will not run. So once again, let me run. Yeah, now it is building. It will take some time. It will create a Docker image now. Okay, you can see that it has been successfully created. So now let us verify whether the image is there or not. So yeah, this is done. Docker build is done. So the output is something like this. Yes, it is done. So let us check with Docker images. So you should see these Docker images should be available. This is point number 60. Yeah, you can see this node app is available. This is made available and the size is 84 MB. Okay, so let us learn about. So we have learned about how to create a Docker image now. So let us start deploying this Docker image. So yes, we have this Docker image ready. Node app should be running. So how to run this Docker image? So this is the command docker run -d. The name is node app. So that is the name which we are given on port 3000 colon 3000. That is node app. Okay, so I'm going to execute that. So you see this, I'm running this Docker image. Yeah, this is your Docker ID. You can see this the Docker ID. You can see the Docker containers using this Docker container ls. Let us verify. Yeah, this is your container ID. Please note down this container ID, which will be helpful for us. This is the container ID, and you can see this one ports, and it is running also. Created 34 seconds on this particular name. You can also verify whether this is running, this particular one is running or not. Yeah, this is the curl command. Later on we can check even on the website also, on the browser also. Yeah, you get you are able to see the HTML code. If you are getting the HTML code, it is running. So now I'll just show you. This is my Cloud9 instance. This is my public IP. Okay, I copy this public IP. Okay, colon 3000. You can see this. The website should be website. So what I do, I go to this instance under security, this security groups. I modify the rules. I modify the rules as add as a custom TCP and say 3000, and I can say my IP. My IP is enough for me, and say save rules. Refresh now. Yeah, perfect. You can see this website is now started. But let me tell you one more thing. Let me check whether this is connecting to my SQL server. So it is mentioning as this, there is a problem. Okay, so we need to define the SQL server to this website. Okay, which is located in a different location. Yeah, so this is done. So now yeah, public IP we have done. So now this is point number 21, list of suppliers. If I click, you see an error stating that the problem. Okay, retrieving the list of suppliers. So this is because node app 1 containing is having trouble reaching the MySQL database, which is running on EC2 instance named as MySQL server node. So what we will do, we will go into this particular one and we will define the location where exactly our host is running. Host is, I mean, SQL server running. So I go to cloud config.js and I modify this code which is there in what is this containers node app code partner app config, this config.js file. So you see this app config. Yeah, this is the file config.js. So the top four lines contains what we call as db host 3 dot something, which an IP, db user, password, and so. Okay. So what we need to do is that we need to modify these lines. Modify these lines. So call following code. So however, the application also contains the logic. So what we do, I tell you, this 3.82 is not really the SQL Server IP address. So for that, what we generally need to do is that go to your SQL Server. That, okay, I go back to EC2. So this instances, just check what is your SQL Server. This is my SQL Server, and copy this public IP. Here are the details. So this is my SQL Server. I just note down this one in what we call as Notepad, SQL Server. That is what which is shown in the documentation. So analysis is that as you see the code settings is included a hard code IP address of the location of the MySQL. However, the application code also contains the following logic. You see this one, object keys config for keys equal to so and so, process.env is undefined, console log is config.js, else so and so. So what we need to do, so these checks will do when you have visited. However, you need to launch the node as with the container variable. Therefore, the node application defaulted with the hard-coded 3.82 IP address, which does not match the IP. So hard-coded IP, which does not match this MySQL. So to find this, you can say docker ps. Okay, to find the container ID. We already viewed the container ID. It is there. This is my container ID. Otherwise, also you can get through this container ID. I didn't do any modifications till now. I can say docker ps will tell you the container ID. This is B or something. Please note down that for the next step. Okay. To connect your terminal using this, there are the following commands at a time. Replace the container ID with the actual one, which is there, which you have retrieved. So here you can see this particular one, docker execute. I copy into the notepad and I say container ID. I replace this one. I modify. Okay. Yeah, it is displayed now. I have executed this container. Now this container is running. Now you can see who am I is root. So you are into the container. You have executed. You are not in the earlier one. You are now in the root. You can see earlier you are in Cloud9 environment. Now you are in root environment. Okay. Now let us. Your terminal is now connected to the root user. So here su node and env, we need to make some changes. Okay, we can write or copy down. So this is your environment. Okay, the host name is your the container basically, which is there, which is running, and your node and your path, and of course all the details which are there. All right. So you can see this application DB host is also running. So that's all. I think this is how you can go into the container and log in and do go into. So if you make exit, you will be back to your shell. You'll be back to your shell. Okay. So you are back again to Docker PS. Okay. So if you want, you can stop the Docker, and also you can see this particular one. To stop the Docker. Yeah, I stopped the Docker now. So if you say curl, it should not run now. Yeah, it is not connected and no HTML code is returned. So let me launch a new container. This time you will pass an environment variable to tell the node application with the correct location of the database. So how do we do that? Return to EC2 console and copy the public IP of your MySQL server. Yes, we have done that. Return to your Cloud9 terminal. Yes. So what you do, just copy this entire line and run this Docker run with the DB host as your IP address of your MySQL. So just run this Docker terminal. Okay, this is perfect. This is where your application is. This is where your database is, database server. So I just copy this particular server. Okay, your node app. So copy this one and run. Yeah, it's running now. The Docker started running again. You can see this one. If you want to see Docker PS, it's running. Even now you can even verify this curl. It is running now. Let me check now once again. Yeah, you can see this website is running. Let me check the application. Yeah, it is connected now. If I want to add a supplier, yes, it is. Hello, city, New York. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it is connected now. It is connected now. This is how we can I mean move our application to the container. So finally, now this is the thing which is there. Even if you can stop this application server, still your website will function. So only thing is that in the next video we will learn about how you can transfer or how we can move this MySQL server EC2 instance to the Docker container. Okay, but before that, what I will do, I will also stop this EC2 server, okay, application server, this one, and show you still my website is functional. So I can say instance status is stop the instance. So this is now stopped. Okay, only two of them are running, but still you can see this particular one is running. Okay, so I mean that what we have done is that we have fully migrated our application to the container, okay, this is the Docker container. So in my next video what we will do is that we will migrate this MySQL node also to the container and stop this MySQL server. Okay, thank you and bye.